it's currently 5:33, Wednesday, October 19th, 2022. This is a meeting of the Jamestown Local Development Corporation. It looks like we do have a quorum today. So we'll go ahead and get started. We know we've got some time limits on some folks. I've heard there might be an open house or two happening today. So thank you all for joining us. Before we begin, I do want to just welcome, you may see at the table, two new individuals. We have Heather Greenfield, who is joining Jura and by extension JLDC as the new financial person. As you all know, John Selstrom has moved on to comptroller at the city. I also want to welcome Tim Odell, who's joined us as our recovery plan grants manager, who's helping us manage the various grants for the rescue plan funds. So welcome, both of you.
Thank you.
Sorry to kick you from the table initially, but we're glad you're here. So we'll go ahead and get started. You have the minutes in front of you. If you want to take a quick peek at that, and I will accept the motion to approve the minutes of the July 20th meeting.
So moved.
All right.
Second.
We have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Next thing up, we have the financial reports, which were provided. You'll see as of September 30th, 2022. Any questions on that? Now I'll entertain a motion for approval of the financial reports.
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're just moving along here. The third item on our agenda is the review and approval of the American Rescue Plan Act grant awards. We have three categories that have been assigned to the Jamestown Local Development Corporation. Staff here has gone through those requests and awards, so I'll leave it to Crystal and her team to go through the first one, which is the Business Building and Infrastructure Improvement Program.
And actually, Tim has been preparing for this all day, so I'm going to turn it right over to Tim.
So as Mayor Sundquist said, my name is Timothy Odell. I'm the new ARPA Grants Manager. I just wanted to thank everybody here today for taking time to meet with us and participate in the meeting. And a little bit about myself. Recently a UB graduate in urban planning, and I was with Chautauqua County's planning department the past couple months, and now I am here. So, and I hope to make a very positive impact on the Jamestown community. So we'll go right into Business Building and Infrastructure Improvement Program. That will be the first spreadsheet that you see in front of you. Just to give everybody a quick overview, this is essentially our program that is helping local businesses here in Jamestown get infrastructural repairs, whether it's roofing, HVAC, or if they're making remodeling and any sort like that. So the return on investment for Jamestown and how this project's going to benefit everybody here in the city is projects will improve day-to-day operations, which will help businesses provide better services. And the improvement of infrastructure is going to free up a lot of cap space for businesses that they would have to purchase on their own for roofing. So if I took examples for Basari and Coldcraft here, and they all have their own various expansion plans as businesses, and us helping support their roofing project in particular, this will help them create 10 full-time jobs for Basari and 13 for Coldcraft. And many others on here are also going to have an increase in employment. And overall too, if you look at the spreadsheet right here, a majority of them are getting roofing replacements, and a big part of it too, when we spoke with Dawson Metal, is the roof has current safety concerns, and this project will help fix this. And they have around 60-70 employees, so it will help establish safer roofing conditions, safer working conditions for them, which is very important, and hopefully attract some new employees. So essentially, yeah, that should be pretty much it for my brief introduction to this program, and I'd be happy to answer any questions anyone would have.
So it looks like we received 17 applications, and the recommendation from staff is to fund 10 of them. Total amount was 2.6 million, just over. There's only how much in the funds? 1.5?
1.5 million. So the estimated project cost, just to clarify, is a little over 2.6. There is a required match from each of those businesses, so that includes what that match is. This program will fund up to 75% of their total project costs. So they are required to match 25% at least. And the maximum amount that this program will fund is up to 200,000. Now, we did make some allotment, to adjust because of the limit in funding. And Tim or Stephanie, if you wanna explain how you did that calculation. But essentially, we lowered the requested amount by just a small percentage, so all of those that we're recommending funding for, they'll be getting just a little bit less than what they requested, so that we could hit that 1.5 million mark without going over, and to kind of make it equitable across the board for all of those being awarded.
That's it.
Okay?
And thank you for those that were able to make it to some of the tours for some of the businesses, which is really great. They were excited to have folks. At this point, staff is recommending 10 applications, those being El Greco, Borsari, Dawson Metal, Artone, International Ordnance Technology, National Wire, Dorian's, Mirage, Colcraft, and Shawbucks. Keep in mind, if we approve any of these, anything over $100,000 will go to City Council for ratification. Any other questions?
Those will go individually, correct?
Correct.
Correct. Not, I'll entertain a motion to approve those 10 applications.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any- All right, aye. Any opposed? Any abstaining? All right, so approved.
Shawbucks is that a historical building? Is there some designation to that?
It's in a historic, in the downtown historic, actually, I think it's on the outside edge of the historic district.
I know, I thought the building itself was,
Yeah, I don't think you found.
was a press or something,
I don't-
Cause I know when they redid it, when they took down the part of it, there was some, I don't know, something, maybe I was thinking different building. Never
Well,
used to be-
anything that gets approved as far as, adding to the exterior, if it is indeed a historic building, that would come out through the seeker process. So they would have to follow any SHPO guidelines or anything like that.
How soon will these funds that are under 1,000 be dispersed?
Soon we can possibly get it done.
Okay.
Heather, how soon would?
As soon as these are approved and funding is available, then we'll start drawing on the grant money to pay out to business owners.
So the way she explained it to me is the city has the money here, but we don't have the money up here in her office.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
as soon as that gets approved by John, then.
Yeah, and so our goal is to start transferring funds for such projects as of November 1st, unless it's the roof and sewer lines that's already in progress, so.
And do these businesses have to come forward after the projects are done and show you proof of them being done and photographs and,
Yeah,
okay.
and if you remember, as part of their applications, and this goes for all of the programs across the board, there were criteria that were established and measurables that they are to meet. They still have to come back and report on all of those measurables, between now, the end of their project, but also through the end of 2026.
And it's quarterly that they're gonna have to come and report to us. So, Tim and I are working on a form that will go along with, we've also been working on our loan forgiveness agreement. So they'll be notified in this agreement when they have to report their quarterly findings, so. And then at the end, of course, if they have, met the requirements of either, job growth, revenue growth, or business expansion, then we can forgive that other 50% of their loan. So 50% is a grant, they don't have to repay it. 50% is kind of that stick we're waiting to make sure that they are going to do what they intended to do.
So we're gonna go ahead and move on. I know some of you have to go, so, we talked about the IT, program, and the downtown business solution.
Yes, definitely. So if you turn your attention to the next spreadsheet for IT upgrades, and I'll give a brief overview. For the information technology, it's one of my favorite programs here. So essentially what we're doing here is helping the businesses fund their IT programs. So if it's updated security systems, they wanna get new computers and pretty much any type of IT machinery. And a good example of this that I found was the fitness factory here down in the downtown. She's planning to use her funding we're giving her $2,550. She'll be using her funding to create a keyless entry system, which is pretty much just a key fob, and this will make her place of business 24-hour access. So this program is essentially going to help businesses provide better services for their customers, and in her case, it was in demand to become 24 hours, and it also helps her handle a lot of the business electronically and whatnot.
If I can
And-
get my key out.
Essentially too, just looking at the spreadsheet, I'll just keep this as brief as I can, but in respect to time constraints, but Dawson Metal, National Wire, Crown Street Roasting, the trade-off from this and our return on investment for Jamestown here is all these businesses their new software will help them provide better services, which means we'll get more customers, they'll get greater revenue, and it'll help the city grow in the downtown area. And essentially, that's what I have for that.
Great, thank you. I will note, Crystal and I got a chance to go to the National League of Cities Summit on Workforce Development. And one of the big things that came out from that conference is the amount of manufacturers that don't or have not upgraded their IT services, their computers. They're still using, in many cases, Windows XP to manage machines. And that alone, what some cities are doing and some counties are doing is they're funding those operations to help those companies come up to speed. So it's certainly a great program. From the funding amount requested, it looks it's $300,000. Is that about right?
Yep. That's correct.
Okay. Any questions? Looks like we have Dawson Metal, Fitness Factory, Anash, National Wire, National Ordnance Technology, Labyrinth, and Crown Street Roasting. No further questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve the funding amounts as provided by staff.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Move on. Downtown Business Evolution.
Thank you. So this is our last grant here for you today, and the Downtown Business Evolution. It's definitely different from the BPII, which was the first one. So this one's focus is to help businesses come up with a new plan or business strategy that is fresh and new, something that they haven't been able to do due to the pandemic. And this will help attract, of course, people back to the downtown, but add some more versatility to the businesses, help them establish new job roles. For example, too, I'm sure everybody in this room enjoys the Labyrinth, and they want to expand their menu with the Brickline Pizza Oven. And many of these businesses are essentially, they're either making some renovations, but a lot of these ones, you see a lot with Jamestown Skate Products even, they want to have an indoor skates, an indoor stage area. And for anybody who doesn't know, they're going to be putting on concerts, especially this weekend they're having one. So they're trying to make it a lot more inclusive, host more in capacity, and make a lot of things just to improve the business quality. And for this one, we were given $200,000 to utilize, and we actually have some money left over as we're currently sitting at $165,000 for this project.
Questions on that? Looks like 11 applications. Labyrinth, Crown of Jamestown, that's different than Crown.
Yep.
Crown PK. Fitness Factory, Crown Street, C, Jamestown Skate Products, Chautauqua Art Gallery, Panache, Sauce, Cherry Lounge, Fringe, and the Hotspot.
The additional balance is because we didn't have any more applications, is that correct? Okay.
Yes.
So this is the max number of people that apply.
So moved.
Okay, a motion by Tony, a second.
Second?
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? All right. Thank you all. We're very excited to finally get some funding out the door.
Woo! Thank you. That's tomorrow, Heather.
That's tomorrow. We know that, yeah.
All right, we have some new business.
Yes.
And we'd like to invite Patrick Smeraldo. got some things to say.
Sure, I left your packet, thank you, Mr. Mayor and everyone tonight. Left your packet to talk about some events for next year, 2023. As part of our package this year, we do still have the holiday parade, which will be announced tomorrow, is Saturday, December 3rd. The Reg is doing something on the 2nd, which is Friday evening. There'll be a craft thing at the ice arena during the day on Saturday for Toys for Tots, which will also coincide with the Northwest Ice Arena's 16-team high school hockey tournament. So it'll be a busy weekend in Jamestown. Last year when we put the package together, we had, or excuse me, this year actually, it was in January, but it was a project that included going after some bed tax, occupancy tax funding. We had missed the deadline for that, so and we can get to this, once everybody's done with their meetings and stuff, in the next session or by email, whatever. It was a shortfall this year of $5,000, so I've resubmitted that for the end of this year. Looking into next year, in 2023, and this will just explain the packet that you have, we're proposing 5 events, total of 8 evenings, days and nights, of activity in downtown. Saturday, March 18th, I'm looking to have a Explosion Cheer, which is a children's cheer group. I collaborated with them on the Labor Day Festival where they came and performed. They have the opportunity to host a 20-team minimum cheer competition at the Northwest Arena, which is a regional one. It'll bring in teams from everywhere here to the city. I've also talked to Dan Stone a little bit about improving, or not improving, but expanding on our St. Patrick's Day events for Saturday the 18th, and we would like to pull off a St. Patrick's Day parade on Saturday, March 18th, to coincide with turning the river green and all that. In July, we would once again, Friday the 21st, once the Tarp Scouts schedule comes out, collaborate with them, which would include a fireworks show, and then on Saturday, utilize the Riverwalk area again, as we did this year for performances and food trucks and live entertainment. Saturday the 19th of August and Sunday the 20th of August, secured the Gus Macker to come back to downtown Jamestown, possibly in the Riverwalk area as well. And just to note on this package that here is together, the bed tax occupancy grant has made the deadline this year and was filed by October 1st. And they're very pleased to see the Gus Macker come back to Jamestown. And in one of the last pages there was a financial impact statement that the Gus Macker sent me that could make in Jamestown. September 2023, this year we brought in, we have a few extra dollars to fund. We brought in a motivational educational speaker. He's a national speaker, and he was Gary Brooks. He spoke at the Reg on Saturday evening, September 10th, and my report from the restaurants were they were busy. There were some overnight guests because he drew a crowd from Rochester, Erie, and the surrounding region again, because we can't attract national talent to Jamestown with the venues we have. So I would suggest going back to do that. And then Friday, December 1st and 2nd of next year, the holiday weekend again. So Crystal and I spoke a little bit, and obviously with travel and everybody's been going in 10 different directions at City Hall, this is packaged as one package, can be broken up in different ways, but it'll show you on the back the budget, how it's budgeted out and funded. You'll see $10,000 from the occupancy tax to be successful there, and costs and possible economic impact in Jamestown. So,
Thank you, Pat.
sure, thank you.
Appreciate it, and thank you for all the work that you've done.
Yeah, thank you.
Mr. Cotton?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I can give you mine, I have one here.
Oh, here you go.
Thank you.
Sure.
Excellent. So has staff reviewed this application as of yet? No.
Not as of yet.
Okay.
In first glance, I don't see any issues. The only thing that I spoke with Pat about is and this doesn't have to impact this application as it's been received, but, I think I'll leave it to all of you. Grant requested amount for one event is a maximum of $50,000. He's put it all together into one package, so I don't see an issue with the request being 68,000 total, because that covers all 4 events. But if anyone feels that it should be broken out, we can certainly do that.
Okay. Excellent, thank you so much. All right, any other business? I do want to just point out for this board, JLDC was part of the funding for the Retool 2022. That conference has happened in the city. We had just around 200 registrants for that conference. I got a chance to moderate a panel. It was very, very well attended, very popular. People were really excited to see. We had heads of a lot of the state agencies actually come down and be a part of it as well. So it was a really great, excellent conference, and we're excited to see more. I think people are fired up, but more importantly, they're excited about their time in Jamestown, and that's a really good thing. So thank you all for helping to fund that activity, and it seemed to be quite a success.
Yeah, I got a chance to talk to a couple of people today from out of town, and they were so impressed with Jamestown, with the venues, with the organization of the conference. So all really good things, and they said you should do more of this. So I thought that was very positive for us. We put on a good show.
Yeah, Serena was a very interesting venue, but as someone who was moderating the panel, it was very cold on the floor.
It was chilly.
They left a little bit of ice for people to curl. Any other business to come before this board? Hearing none, do we have a motion to adjourn? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Right. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.
I'm sort of hurrying away. I teach seniors parents don't call.
And,
They don't go.
Pat, you going?
I'm going.
Oh, all
My
right.
son's so much.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yep.
usually get like 4.
What is it?
Turn this off.
House.
You only get 4?
Usually get like half a dozen.
I don't know if I'm going to see you, but I'll be